The king of modern American technology, the Abram. In today's challenge vid, we are going to see how many World War II Shermans is it going to take on this modern monster. In round one, we're going to be starting with 9 M4A1 Shermans, the classic and most used Sherman during World War II. And in round two, we'll be stepping up the amount of Shermans if the Abram can win, and a specialty round three, where you're going to see an army of 16 M22 American tanks against this Abram. As our contendants draw closer to each other, the M4 stands no chance in blocking the powerful Abram round, ripping it to shred and not being able to deflect anything, while the M4 is going to have a very hard time penetrating much, if anything, from the front. A little bit of the viewport right there from the front, but the side a little bit weaker. The Abram in position, getting ready for the Shermans to approach as we go into the town and watch this massive swarm of M4s moving toward the Abram, starting to split up, moving out along each flank. We have some moving off to the right, some over to the left to try and surround him. All Shermans using their binos, trying to get eyes on where he could be positioning himself. Abram frantically looking around, seeing what he could possibly see and who his first victim will be. Now, a major advantage of the Abram is the thermal sight ability, being able to look easily through the trees and taking out the first Sherman with 8 left, trying to protect himself behind this hill and keeping eyes in all directions on where they could possibly be. Now, I was spectating in this first round and just listening to all the M4 players frantically trying to find out where that first Abram shot came from and where he could possibly be. Abram starts to use his thermal sights again, starts to see an M4 Sherman, misses him, machine gun fire falls short, M4 takes a shot but also doesn't quite aim high enough and takes out the second M4 Sherman, leaving there to be 7 left. As the rest of them now know where his position is, they start charging in and closing in on his position. Now, Native@1, I know he's a good player, and using this hill as much protection as he can, trying to fire at all these Shermans. These Shermans are actually doing a pretty good job taking his track out in a very bad position on this hill, as the Abram doesn't quite have some of the gun depression it needs as they start approaching and getting closer. Sherman comes right in the line of sight as it tries to engage, gets taken out, leaving there to be 6 left. Machine gun fire coming in from all over. Smoke is fired to try blinding the Abram to help them get closer. Another Sherman gets taken out. Abram doing very well here, hoping to repair his track in time before the rest get too close. With 5 more Shermans left, can the Abram still do it in this tricky situation? And trying to get this track fixed before they can get too close. His gun depression does not quite have enough. M4s are getting closer. They know the Abram's in trouble. Will they have a chance to take him out? Abram shoots smoke, try blinding the M4s a little bit more. Tries to angle and braces himself for the 4 charging right in. He's there in spawn. He can start to see one through the machine gun fire and completely takes out the turret crew, also destroying the breach, gets his track fixed, and frantically tries to reverse as he can hear them all around rushing in through the smoke. Takes out another one, leaving only 3 fully functional Shermans left and 1 under repair with its turret crew knocked out, trying to change positions, continuing to fire that machine gun fire in through the smoke. 1 of them gets knocked out, 2 left, charging in, machine gun fire trying to find each other. And this could be a close round. Abram sees an M4 coming up on the left, destroys it. Here's another one coming off to the right as he starts to move up, trying to get those weaker sides, absolutely obliterating its turret and breach. As it's under repair, the last 2 Shermans completely under repair, and the last one forfeits, leaving the Abram to win against 9 M4 Shermans. Going into the second round now, where we step it up to 11 Shermans to see if the Abram can still do this. Now I'm taking the point of view of the Sherman side this round, as we're gonna need as many Shermans as possible to take on this American monster. Starting to spread out, some heading out over on the flank, the bulk of us heading through the town. As we all try to get eyes using our binos across the lake and in through the town to find out where he could possibly be. First shots are heard across the lake as one shot comes in, catching a Sherman on fire, critically damaging him as the Shermans try to frantically look to find out where that came from. Everyone on Discord in a frantic panic. And the Abram gets a double kill, completely ripping through the one injured Sherman and destroying the other with its incredible, powerful, penetrating blow. This Abram with its best shell has 629 millimeters of penetration, easily cutting through multiple of these Shermans. Multiple Shermans, after seeing the shot, starts marking the Abram on the map. One starts going long, trying to flank him, gets his engine taken out. This high velocity, powerful shell does not have a hard time hitting targets at very far range across this map. Abram very smartly positioned here, as the M4 Shermans are now at a major disadvantage, not having nearly as well of a long range reach as this Abram. Trying to use that gun arc M4 start aiming and firing at the Abram's position, and are already down 4 Shermans. That 75 millimeter at this distance is really going to struggle. Those M4s really have to close in if they're going to have a chance of turning this battle around. Now, not counting as the 11th Sherman, we did have an M22 player that did not have a Sherman, but as a scouter, giving the Abram maybe a small taste of what to expect in round 3. Abram starts to notice the M22 moving over to the side and knocks him out with a no problem obliteration blow. Shermans on the right flank of the Abram start to move up to get a more advantageous position using these hills and getting as close as they can, but gets completely wrecked, putting this Sherman in a really bad spot. Still another one on the far right. Abram doesn't think twice about just waiting and mercilessly kills the Sherman that was the closest to him. We all realize at this moment on Discord, if we're going to have any chance of winning against this, we now all have to go rushing in at once. The Abram, not knowing that we're already moving up, starts to notice that we're getting closer, tries taking a shot but missing, just hitting the ground, and not knowing he had moved up, I start noticing him closing in on my position. I'm trying to get behind this hill. He's coming up fast, reloading another shot. I try using my machine gun to blind him, and does it again, taking out 2 Shermans with one shot, using that incredible penetration again. Very smart of the Abram player. However, with the last few Shermans left, the Abram gets his barrel knocked out, trying to pop smoke, use it as cover, and using the ESS system to try and create even more smoke to blind the approaching Shermans. This is not looking too good. He needs to fix that barrel if he's going to have any chance of getting back in the game and knocking out these last few that are left. Using their machine guns and cannons, they all start charging in, and amazingly, an M4 from the rear takes a blind shot through the smoke, hitting the Abrams fuel tank, catching him on fire. Trying to pop more smoke, he now aims forward, trying to find out where they might be. He can hear them. Machine gun fire starts coming through the smoke. He fires back, trying to hold him off, and finds one of their tracks to try and take it out and slow them down. It's not happening. They're getting a lot closer. He starts fixating on that track even more. Can he knock it out? Spinning the Sherman around and taking its track out. However, the Abram is constantly still taking hits. The track Sherman using its machine gun, trying to get the Abram. He comes up around the side as it turns into a modern day Fury battle, taking out the Abram, miraculously leaving the M4 Shermans to win round 2. Going into round 3, we now go into a battle where the Abram now faces some of America's tiniest tanks that existed during World War II. 16 M22s plus an M4 and a Stuart against this Abram. How well will it be able to survive, and can it win? Starting to go through the town, it can start to hear the first M22 getting close. Can hear it over on the left hand side, getting shot by its small 37mm round, trying to protect itself as much as possible, but no chance against the Abrams cannon. Now moving through, he can hear a lot more. This swarm and army of M22s, now all knowing where the position is. You can see them all on the map, where we all started looking for him around the spawn, getting closer, all messaging on Discord on where he could be. This leaves Native at 1 in a very scary position. He's using that mobility just a little bit to move around the buildings, not get himself too trapped in one space, seeing if he can pick them off one at a time. Sees the M4 right in front of him, gets shot by him, does not take any damage, knocking him out. Only 2 down and still a lot more to go. Drives around the corner, more coming up along the right, still a little bit of distance. Sees another one coming through the town and ripping right through, blowing him up, trying to use that machine gun as his main cannon reloads. Can he take it out? Killing another one. The rest of them start coming in real close, and here is where the chaos begins. He gets his track taken out, leaving him to be stuck. He's trying to angle himself, more coming up from behind. The machine gun just not cutting it, them all focusing right on his barrel. This very well could be the end. Oh, World War II is not being very friendly to this ammo. The Abram losing its ammo, but not killing it just yet. They all get around the side, completely hammering this Abram. Poor, poor Native at 1. I can only imagine the pain you must have been experiencing in this round, and the M22s and couple World War II tanks succeed, knocking him out, and we all drop Artie on her position, along with the Abram just before dying, and kills a couple M22s. Thank you for all those that participated. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you liked it, please hit that smash and subscribe button. This is the Muffin here. You guys stay cool and keep tanking.